Hello and welcome to Grapple Games TV. This is Josh Fozzard, and tonight's matching match is between Kent and Brian. Kent is playing a mono black discard type deck, and Brian's playing a Temur Monsters aggro. So Brian leads off with Swamp and Despise. Get to see Brian's hand. Kent will get to pick a creature or a planeswalker. He's got Sarkhan, Rattleclaw Mystic, and two Elvish Mystics, and then can't quite see what's on the bottom down there. Heir of the Wild, maybe? Alright, so Kent gets rid of the Rattleclaw. We know Brian has a turn 1 Mystic. Kent plays another Swamp and passes. Brian plays out Wooded Foothills, sacrifices it, and goes to get a land, grabs a mountain. Alright, so he'll have 3 mana to cast something.
Every single time, they're like, yeah, so one time I told the truth. I'm like, oh, thanks. Man, I suck at this game. I almost got away with 5-5 though. But someone outside the game called me out. I'm like, really? You're not in this? Back off. And then they called out like, oh, yeah.
Alright, so 2 mana. Looks like he drew another Rattleclaw. And then the Elvish Mystic brings out his other Elvish Mystic. Brian taps 3 for Mind Rot, forcing Brian to discard 2 cards. Normally, Kent would want to have his Mind Rot out, so no matter what Brian discards, he'll be receiving things depending on the type of card discarded. Frontier Buviak comes out for Brian, and Sarkhan hits the field. Bivouac, I think it's pronounced, I'm not sure. Alright, so Sarkhan swings in for 4, dropping Kent down to 16. A Temur Triland, I'll call it. Alright, so Hero's Downfall takes Sarkhan out. Kent passes turn. And looks like Brian taps 3 for Savage Knuckleblade. He'll make a red with Rattleclaw Mystic to give the Knuckleblade haste. And then swing in for 6 with the 2 Mystics. Kitten's down to half his life. Alright, so we got 5 lands, 4 tapped for Squelching Leeches. He gets his power and toughness equal to the number of swamps, so he is a 5/5. Alright, so Ryan taps 4 for Crater's Claw. Since he controls a creature that Ferocious Trigger, gets X+2, so 5 damage to Squelching Leeches. And then he's able to swing in for 7 life. Kent is down to 3. And it looks like in his hand he's got another Squelching Leeches and Master of the Feast. Neither one, which will be able to prevent lethal damage from coming through. So he taps 3 for the Master of the Feast. And even if he blocks the Savage Knuckleblade here, he will still be being dealt lethal.
I was hoping for a Phoenix too. I saw one just for you. Right, Phoenix. Yeah, bro, I'm Phoenix.
Alright, so Brian turns the team sideways. Getting in for at least 4. Alright, so game 1 goes to Brian, Temur Monsters, and we'll be right back with game number 2.
This is Bob. You told me it was it.
Alright, so turn 1, Kitten leads off with a Swamp. Brian plays Yavimaya Coast.
He's like,
Kitten taps 2 for Waste Not. Basically, if your opponent discards a land, they get mana. Creature, you get zombies. Non-creature, I'm not sure what non-creature gives you.
the thing I just put away.
Brian follows up with the Radical Mystic
Nothing illegal.
after playing Stubborn Denial, so countered the Waste Not. Kent plays the second one. Alright, Wooded Foothills for Brian. It looks like he's cracking that to grab a land.
You know it? I do. Okay.
Did you search up all that one improv video you did?
No, I actually.
Alright, so now Brian has access to all 3 of his colors.
Take on that blue.
So tapping the coast deals a point of damage, and he's casting the Savage Knuckleblade. Rattle Claw gives it haste, swings in for 4.
Yeah, I did.
Alright, so it looks like Kent drew a Murderous Cut, and he's got a couple of Drowning Sorrows in hand.
It's your turn. What about? Oh, it's a video. What's wrong with it?
I'll tell you what's wrong with it.
No, it's not. It's just resting. It's just resting.
Alright, so Brian plays out, or attacks with the Knuckleblade.
Oh, look up the.
Kent attempts to Murderous Cut, and Brian uses Stubborn Denial to make Kent pay 1 more mana, which he does not have. So the spell is countered. And then taps 3 more mana for a second Savage Knuckleblade. So Kitten plays Despise, and Brian reveals triple Boon Satyrs. So since he's discarded a creature, Waste Not gives Kent 2/2 zombie.
Exactly.
So it looks like Kent has Drowning Sorrow, and I'm not quite sure what the other card was.
It's bleeding to mine.
Right, no, but the person will be pushing up the daisies.
This is an X. This is an X. You're a jerk.
So Brian decides to swing in with just the 2 Knuckleblades, and Kent blocks 1. So 4 damage comes through.
Is she dead? No.
Brian could bestow the Boon Satyr, but instead cast the Elvish Mystic.
What did you miss?
Do you know any other trees other than
So Kent taps 3 for Drowned Sorrow. And all the creatures -2/-2.
That's Game Grumps.
So
It's Game Grumps.
Brian's Rattleclaw and Mystic are going to die, but in response, Brian taps the Mystic for mana. And it looks like he's going to use that green to flash in a Boon Satyr. Oh, Boon Satyr is actually 5 to bestow. Okay. So he couldn't actually bestow it last turn. And then he swings in for 12, which is lethal. Alright, so that was a pretty fast game also. Brian's Temur monster was able to power out the win pretty quick before Kitten was able to disrupt his hand too much. Well, if you liked the video, go ahead and leave thumbs up and comments below. And we'll see you again next week for Friday Night Magic at Grapple Games. Once again, it's Josh Fozzard. We'll see you. Thanks.